Feliz Año Nuevo. Hola, hola, hola a todos. Es tu prima favorita, Bobby here. Welcome to the Cousins Corner. If you are new here, welcome back. If you are not new here, I'm tu prima favorita, Bobby, and I just like to talk. And I wanted to come and make a quick video, one, to say Happy New Year, but also just to share something with those who are like, I have no idea where to start, right? There are so many videos, there's so much content, myself included, posted a whole video on how to glow up and make 2025 your best year, right? And that's great, right? There's a lot of content about setting goals. There's a lot of content about what we're gonna achieve this year and how we're gonna make this year the best year yet. But I also want to bring encouragement to those who are just like, I don't even know where to start. Right? I don't even know what my next step is. I don't even know where my life is going right now. I don't know. Some of you may be just getting out of a relationship. Some of you may be headed into a new season of independence in your life. Some of you may be headed into a new season of whatever the case may be. Maybe you're a parent. Maybe you started a new job. Maybe you moved to a new city and you have no idea where to start with setting goals or getting yourself together. Some of y'all are getting ready to go back to school or just finish school or whatever the case may be. And I want to give some starter goals for those who might be seeking that. So I really hope that this video can be of some support, some solace, provide some type of guidance for those who are just like, okay, cool, all these big goals, whatever, give me something small. So without further ado, let's go ahead and hop right into here, and I'm gonna tell you where to start when you don't know where to start or how to start. So let's get into it. My first tip is to start small. If you are a person who is planning to start going to the gym, right? If it seems too big to say, I'm gonna go to the gym 4 or 5 times a week, start with just saying, I'm gonna move my body for at least 10 minutes a day, at least 3 days a week, right? That's a little bit less pressure, especially if you're a person who's coming straight out of maybe never working out, or maybe you haven't worked out for months or years or whatever the case may be. Start small. Give yourself something that feels more tangible versus giving yourself this huge goal that maybe you haven't accomplished in a long time, right? And I'm not saying that you can't, because I know for some people, setting the bigger, more concrete goals works for them because they can hold themselves accountable to that. And then for some people, that's the surest way for them to fall off the wagon sooner. So just as an example, if you're planning to go to the gym or to get back into a workout routine or to start a workout routine, same thing if there's something that you're wanting to start doing with your life on the regular, if it's like meditating, if it's journaling, if it's visualization, if it's reading, whatever the case may be, instead of setting this huge goal of I'm gonna read 40 books this year, give yourself a tangible goal. I'm gonna read 2 pages every single night, or I'm gonna read 1 page at least 4 days out of the week. Start small if that's where you need to. A lot of times we feel this pressure to put on ourselves that if I don't start big, if I don't come out the gate just busting with it, if I don't come out the gate just wholeheartedly full throttle, then I'm going to fail. And for some people, that's just not the reality of it. For some people, the reality of it is that you need to start small. You might need to scale back a little bit until you can set yourself up for that habit. So if it is something like reading or going to the gym, you start with that smaller goal and you're like, hey, this is easy. Like, I've got into a set habit of doing this. I've gotten to a set habit of reading 2 pages 3 times per week, or working out, moving my body for at least 10 or 20 minutes 4 times a week, or whatever the case may be. Now let me scale up, and then you can eventually reach that bigger goal. One thing that I like to do with goals that seem super huge, where I'm like, I don't want to get too overly ambitious, I know I'm going to reach it, but I know I need to start off on a smaller scale, is I set a overall goal, or I set the long-term goal, right? The overarching goal. And then underneath that, I'm a person that likes to write stuff. I like listas. I like to make lists, babies, lists. And some people are like that and some people are not. But I like to write my overarching goal, and then I like to bullet where I'm going to start. So if your overarching goal is to hit the gym every single day per week, but you've never done that before, or you haven't done that in a long time, start with, I'm going to move for X amount of time for X amount of days out of the week, and work your way up there. So start small. It's okay to start small as long as you are moving. It's kind of like that quote of, it's not about how fast you're going, as long as you keep moving forward. That is the mindset that you need to have when you're setting your goals, especially if you're starting something from scratch or something brand new that you've never even done before or experienced before, or if it's been some time. Don't be afraid to start small just because everybody around you is jumping in full throttle. Sometimes that is not the way that you need to move. Sometimes that's not for you. And in some avenues of your life, you're going to go full throttle into those things because you can handle that. And then in other places in your life, you might need to dip a toe in before you put your feet in, before you get your knees in, before you get your waistline in, before you fully submerge yourself into that. So don't be afraid to start small. My second tip is to declutter your life. Tu vida. And what this means is you can start with your closet, or you can start with your camera roll. You could start with your social media, but start that decluttering process, right? If you know, like me, you've got so many photos and videos and all of this stuff in your phone that is taking up storage space, some of which is gonna be hard to let go of, some of which you don't need to let go of, but some of which you know. I have a lot of fluff. Okay, I am a dance instructor. I do gigs, I do performances, and I also travel a lot, and I love to take pictures. But I also know that there's a lot of stuff in my phone that I don't necessarily need. I need to go through and clean that stuff out because I don't have no space. But that's just one example. Another example could be declutter your social media. Some of us, I'm not gonna say us because I declutter my social media on a regular, but you might find that you are following a lot of people or accounts or even hashtags that you don't need to be following. And it could be for a variety of reasons. Maybe it's people that you don't necessarily align with. Maybe it's people that you don't necessarily talk to or have a relationship with anymore, which is fine to keep following those people. But if it's affecting you in a certain type of way, maybe it's just fluff pages of whatever the case may be, because you went to go view a story one time and you couldn't see it unless you were following that person or following that account. Go clean out your social media. Go clean out your emails, your work emails, your personal emails. Go clean that stuff out. Clean out your junk mail. Like, start decluttering. And it seems like something that's so small, which is why we kind of just let those things pile up until your phone is yelling at you saying, hey, you can't record this post-class video because you don't have any space. We just let it build up. But it's like, when you start the process of decluttering, and especially if you start doing that on the regular, like I clean my phone camera on the regular. I clear out images and videos. I try to do it pretty regularly. I also clear my emails regularly too, because I get a lot of emails, because I have several different emails, from work to dance stuff to YouTube stuff, just whatever the case may be. So go through and declutter. And like I said, it feels like something so small, but it feels so good to know that you went from 1,000 unread emails to 35. I'm telling y'all, that is the best feeling ever. Don't judge me. Happens quite a bit. But like I said, I try to stick to decluttering that regularly. So just start with decluttering. If you're not ready to dive into your social media or your phone, or maybe you're like, I don't really follow a lot of fluff like that, and I don't really take a lot of pictures or have that in my phone. Declutter your closet, declutter your garage, declutter your sock drawer. I'm telling y'all, a couple months ago, I went through all of my drawers and I just like decluttered everything. I got rid of stuff that I don't wear or don't need or don't want. And then I ended up keeping most of it because I love my clothes. But I reorganized everything. I was able to make things fit better because I went through and I decluttered it. And it also just felt great. And I also did that with my underwear and my socks, because your girl likes to buy thongs, not to get people all up in my personal business, but I really do. And I love socks too. I will buy some socks. Like, I buy socks like paper towels. Like I love socks. I have 2 sock drawers. It's kind of crazy. But I went through and I decluttered both of those drawers, and I was just like, I don't wear these drawers no more. I don't even like these socks no more. Or I had socks that were like rinky dink from 2010. I'm just like, what are you doing? Like, I don't know if they were from 2010, but they look like it. And just doing that alone, and just like, okay, now I have all the brand new socks that I just bought, plus the ones that, you know, still look nice, still look good. It just felt so good to just declutter, to just get rid of some stuff. So start where you need to start, but declutter some stuff. I promise you, it sets you up for success, and it feels so good. The next tip that I have is something that's so small and so easy to do, is romanticize your routine, okay? Many people have daily routines that, yes, help them for success, but they start to feel monotonous at times, right? And one thing that I found that my night routine and my morning routine really, but really my night routine never gets old to me, because I don't think I was doing this consciously or purposely, but I think I just subconsciously romanticized my night routine, right? When that phone goes down and it goes on the charger across the room from me, I feel great. Because then I'm like, oh, this is time that I'm having to myself. Nobody has access to me at this time right now. I am on my wind down time, right? And whether that means that I'm in my planner writing down the stuff that I need to do for the next day, or whether that means I'm laying out my gym clothes, or sometimes I like to make me a cup of hot chocolate before I go to bed, or not right before bed, but you know, as I'm doing my wind down routine, I like a little cup of hot chocolate. Not abuelitas, nothing against anybody who likes abuelitas, but that is me and her. Me and her hot chocolate. She not chocolate enough for me. But anyway, my little cup of hot chocolate. It used to be tea before bed, but I don't really do the tea thing as much anymore. But just romanticizing that, even when I'm greasing my scalp, even when I'm like washing my face and I'm putting my shea butter on my skin to moisturize before I go to bed, or after I shower and I'm lotioning up my body, when I'm reading before I go to bed, like all of that is romanticized. And when I say romanticize, a lot of people just think of like, what, I'm supposed to light candles and set the, you know, the jazz music and all that. You can, if that helps for you, because I'll definitely light a candle in a second. Or it can just mean bring yourself to that moment and think about this moment as, this is my time. Yeah, I'm just brushing my teeth or whatever, and that's what I do every single night, but this is my time. I am taking care of myself. I am taking care of the teeth that God has allowed me to have. You know, you don't have to get all preachy with it, but really just thinking about the fact that it's like, ooh, I love my teeth so much. Let me brush them. Or, ooh, I love my skin so much. And as you're putting on your moisturizer or washing your face or whatever the case may be, just thinking about the beauty, the elasticity that's in your skin, just thinking about how it just glows and how the sun just kisses it, like romanticizing those moments. It's such a little thing and it can feel kind of foolish or whatever, but I promise you, like if you get into the habit of thinking like that, like when I get in my bed at the end of the night, because the last thing I do before I go lights out is pray. But before that, I do a bit of studying, and then I always read. Like I have my books next to my bed and I'm reading. And that is my favorite time because I get cozy. I turn my fans on, I turn my little lamp on right next to it, I pull, you know, my book out, and I'm just like, ooh, this is just me time to hop back into this book that I am enjoying reading, or this book that is telling me about myself because it's reading me. But just romanticizing those little moments. And the same thing with your morning routine, because it can be so hard to wake up early, especially for those of us who are early risers. 6 a.m. gym gang, which means that we are 5 a.m. to 5:30 wake up gang. Yeah, some mornings don't be feeling that great, but even when I wake up in the morning, I'm just like, ooh, I'm about to get ready to go to the gym and get even finer on you. You know, it don't have to be like that, but like I have a chance to see another day, right? The first thing I do when I wake up in the morning, I hit that alarm. I snooze it for a little bit, but I snooze it because I pray as soon as I wake up. So I snooze my alarm and I pray. I do meditation, just a time for me to kind of be with myself before I actually get all the way out of the bed and get up and start moving. And I like to do it at that time because it gives me some time to just be before all the buzz starts happening, right? I snooze the alarm to give me that extra 10 minutes so that I can say my prayer, do a quick little meditation, and then get myself out of bed, put on my gym clothes, get ready to go to the gym, take my morning supplements, all of that, right? And in each of those points are romanticized. It's like I have my time that I spend, you know, with God. I have that time that I spend with myself. I have that time that I spend even when I'm getting ready to go to the gym. Again, when I'm brushing my teeth, when I'm washing my face, when I'm fixing my hair, putting on my sweatband, putting on my clothes, putting on my socks, like just like, ooh, yeah, girl, you already fine. I sleep desnuda. También, so when I get out of bed, like I see me in the mirror when I wake up, and I'm just like, ooh, beauty, just beauty, just strength, just chocolateness, just romanticizing each and every part. And again, it sounds so silly, but it makes all the difference. It's like I'm here and I'm a person and I'm really living this life. I'm really co-creating, you know, my reality. I'm loving my existence and I'm cherishing each and every moment. And it also teaches you how to be in the moment too. So when you are out doing more extravagant things or having all of these different other experiences in life, you know how to be in those moments and romanticize those. But start with romanticizing those smaller moments, those personal moments, your routine, those things that you do day in and day out. You are allowed to see another day. You have been gifted another day. So why not experience that moment like it's the best thing that's happened, you know? So yeah, romanticize your routine. It doesn't have to be monotonous. Another way that you can start if you don't know where to start, I kind of touched on this in my last videos about glowing up and making 2025 your best year yet, is trying new things. And trying new things does not have to mean that you're about to go outside and go bungee jumping for the first time. Trying new things can literally just mean I'm gonna try a new food for dinner tonight. I'm gonna try a new restaurant, even if it's takeout, even if it's favor, even if it's something that you're getting ordered, right? It's like, I'm going to try something new. It could be, I usually take this one route to work. Well, I have a little bit of extra time this morning. Let me take the scenic route because I remember driving through this really cool looking neighborhood and I just wanna see what's over there, you know? So I don't want people to always think of trying new things having to be like, oh, I'm gonna go and take myself to this concert, even though I have a fear of going to spaces alone and being there by myself with big crowds of people. It doesn't have to look like that. It can literally just be like, oh, I've never been to that park before. I'm gonna go walk that park. I'm gonna call a friend and we're gonna go try this new bar. I'm gonna go to a plant shop because I've never been there before and I kind of want to get into planting. So let me just see, like, trying new things can literally be just letting your curiosity lead you into a new store that you've never set foot in, or down a new road that you've never walked before to get home, or whatever the case may be. Do that with caution. Like, I don't want y'all thinking that I'm telling y'all to go out there and be daredevils or nothing like that. Just trying new things, starting small. Like, it doesn't have to be this extravagant deal, but it can be something that's like, oh, I tried something new today. That was really cool. I had a really great experience, or I ain't like that, so I ain't never doing that again. So, you know, just try something new. And if you want me to go into more detail about that, what are some small things or examples other than the ones that I gave in this video, I can do that for you. I can send you a whole list. Better yet, Google's your friend, but just try something new. Another tip I have is reframe your setbacks, right? Especially if you feel like 2024 had been maybe like a rough year or wasn't your best year and you're holding a lot against yourself because of the so-called setbacks or failures that you feel like you've had. Learning to reframe your language around your setbacks or your failures are going to help progress you into the future. Now, there are times where I believe we have to give ourselves tough love. Yes, there are times where it's like, you knew better. You knew better and you still did it. You knew better and you still did something stupid. Idiota. You know, don't call yourself an idiota, because that's not positive self-talk, and that does not help you. But along with that tough love that you give yourself, you also have to follow it up with, okay, you did that, you made a mistake, but what have we learned from it? And I will say, for me, 2024 has definitely been a year of growing and learning, and especially in ways that I was not ready for in the year prior. There are things that I dealt with this year that in 2023, or even earlier in the year in 2024, I was not ready to touch. There are certain things that I was looking at as setbacks and failures that I had because of certain decisions that I made, or certain actions that I took or didn't take, or whatever the case may be. And what I've learned by the end, and in retrospect as well, is that some of those things needed to happen. Yeah, it sucked going through it. Yeah, the lesson that I learned from it sucked, but also I learned something from it, and it needed to happen. Some of the things that I went through this year put me in a whole different mindset, because it brought out another part of me, another evolved part of me, another opportunity for me to show or realize and recognize how far I've come and how much I have grown, or how far I still have to go and how much growing I still need to do. Some of the setbacks that I've had, I'm not going to call them failures, but some of the setbacks that I've had this year have really shown me that needed to happen, because there were some things that I needed to realize. There were some things that I needed to go through. There were some things that I needed to learn, and learn I did. The learning I did this year, oh, I could write a book on it, and maybe one day I will. But learning to reframe your setbacks and your failures teaches you that growth comes from mistakes. Growth comes from mistakes. So as you're reflecting on 2024 and getting ready to go into 2025, or starting 2025, think about those setbacks, and don't think about them in a sense of, oh, I failed, I'm not gonna make it, it's gonna be hard for me to come out of this. Think about the things that you learned within those setbacks. You learned how not to do certain things, or you learned that in certain situations, there are certain things that you need to be willing or able or ready to do in order to see success. Let me get off my high horse, because I can also talk about that and write a whole book on that. But reframe your setbacks. Reframe those failures and realize that growth comes from mistakes you learn because of the mistakes that you made. The last tip that I have, if you absolutely positively do not know where you need to start or where you want to start to kick off your year, is start by choosing a word or a mantra for your year, or a theme for this year. And the thing that I want you to think about when you do that is, you don't have to think of something extravagant, right? It can be as small as balance, boldness, change, growth mindset, whatever the case may be. And then also, don't think of it as something that has to stay concrete for the entire 2025. Let's say you choose your word, right? Your word is bold, or your mantra is be bold. You want to step outside of your comfort zone. You want to be bold. You want to show up. You want to, whatever the case may be. If by March your year is shifting, your mindset is shifting, and you figure there's a different word that you want to take throughout the rest of the year, it's like, okay, cool. I've had January, February, and March. I've come into my boldness. Not that you're not going to continue to grow with that, but it's like, my mantra for the rest of the year now is take risk, or it could be silent, or whatever the case may be. What I'm getting at is, it's okay to change this mantra, but because you're looking for a place to start, I want you to think of something that you could at least start with. And even if it's like, this is just going to be my mantra for January, not necessarily all of 2025, but for January, my mantra or my quote or my goal or whatever you want to call it is going to be bold. And then write down, what does that mean to you? Does that mean advocating for yourself? Does that mean standing up for your friends? Does that mean telling people what it is that you need or what it is that you will not accept? Is that setting stronger boundaries? Or what does being bold mean to you? And if you feel like it's too much or too ambitious to make that your mantra for the entire 2025, just start with January is the month of boldness for me. January is the month of courageousness for me. January is the month that I'm going to step outside of my shell, or I'm going to communicate with people, or I'm going to be upfront and open with people. And then once you get into January or towards the end of January, figure out if that is where you need to stay as you go into February. And then you can continue it, or you can say, I'm actually really good at that. But what I've noticed is I need to learn how to listen. So now it's going to be silent and listen. And in February, that's your mantra. But I say that to say, set a mantra or a word that's going to guide you, so that you know, at least I have a starting point going into this year. At least I have something that is setting me on solid ground that I'm working towards if I don't have anything else or I don't know where else to start. So those are just a few tips that I have for you if you're like, oh, I want to start something, but I'm not really sure where to start, or I want to start on a smaller scale. These are just a few tips to help you with a fresh start when you don't know where to start. So I hope that these are helpful to you. I hope that you enjoyed this video. Please like, comment, share, subscribe, share with anybody that you feel might need this video. And if there's any tips that I missed, or any tips that you want to add for other people to engage with, or anything that you want me to go into more detail about, because I am tu prima favorita and I just love to talk, please drop them down in the comment section below. Again, please make sure you subscribe to the channel, and I am so excited to be going into 2025 with you all. This is tu prima favorita Bobby here. Thank you for joining me today in the Cousins Corner, and I will see you next time. Bye.